you will know my next guest from loads of shows, from Peep Show to his role as team captain on Would I Lie to You? Love that show. Now, comedian David Mitchell is sharing his love of history in a new book about England's monarchs. And he joins me now, and I'm going to put a crown on because you've got one on. This is great.
Oh, thank you very much.
I really like this. Well, I love history anyway. Crikey, what a strange and rum assortment of people.
Well, it's a lot weirder than you'd expect.
Very weird.
I think that's the thing about it. You sort of think the medieval history is something recognisable because a lot of the institutions, you know, carry on to this day. We still have kings and queens, parliament, all that.
Yeah.
But it was mad. It was
It
really
was
strange.
mad. You couldn't make it up. It's quite extraordinary. Who was your favourite monarch?
Which I like the bad ones.
Yeah, I do too. They're more interesting, aren't they?
Yeah, because the good ones were, by modern standards of government, even current standards of government, were terrible. They weren't even trying to have schools or hospitals.
No.
They were just trying to have wars.
Yeah.
So the bad ones are the ones with the good stories. And I mean, you've got to... I mean, Henry VIII has given so much in terms of being such a monstrous man in a fun way.
Would not want to be married to him.
No, and yet
any way.
More people were married to him than have been married to most people.
This is very true. This is very true. No, he's a good one. I like him. And this is you using your history degree, sort of.
Well, I mean, to be honest, most of what's in that book I did not learn as an undergraduate. I was not a good student of history for those 3 years.
Were you not?
No.
Were you naughty?
No, I wasn't. No, I was perfectly well behaved. I didn't, I didn't have parties and things, but I did a lot of plays and comedy, which was not part of the curriculum.
No, but, I mean, it's stood you in good stead. Now, look, this is an interesting one. You compare William the Conqueror with James Bond. Explain.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the recent Bond film.
Have you seen it?
Well, yeah, they both explode at the end. For different reasons.
Right.
James Bond, obviously, it was some cruise missiles sent by this country to blow him up. I don't know if that's supposed to be a sort of metaphor for Brexit.
Probably.
And with William the Conqueror, it was his rotting corpse that exploded during his own funeral.
Oh, that must have been awful to be in that congregation. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and they were more used to horrible smells than we are, but
yes, but still.
Yeah.
But still. The next one you do, you have to do Scottish ones. Because if you think that the English royals are crazy, oh, my goodness me, go back. It's terrifying.
Well, it's very complicated, the Scottish monarchy.
It's very complicated.
Yeah. One of the reasons I say it's the English monarchy, I didn't want to pretend by saying, it's about Britain, and then not really properly covered Scotland.
Yeah, you go up to Elizabeth.
I go up to Elizabeth I, but yeah, the Scottish monarchy was doing some crazy things at the same time.
Bonkers, absolutely bonkers. Now, you told us that you think about... Now, this is a thing that's going round, that men in particular think about the Roman Empire. Do you actually think about the Roman Empire?
Well, it was not my thought. This has been...
No,
this
it's a thing.
Question that was put to me. It's a thing.
It's a thing out there.
Someone's worked out this thing.
Yes.
That men think about the Roman Empire apparently quite a lot. And you ask men, they go, actually, yeah, come to think of it. I've thought about it once or twice in the last few days. And women go, the Roman Empire? No, I'm busy. So, yeah, I do think about it. But, I mean, it's really natural too. There's so much... I mean, anything you see in Latin, you've thought a bit about the Roman Empire.
OK.
But often you think about how they were so organised.
They were organised.
And they're sort of like... It's pleasant to contemplate how they managed to be so organised at a time before anyone had mobile phones or all of the conventional means for organisation.
But why is it a man thing and not a girl thing? Is it because we've got more to think about?
I think these generalisations can be problematic.
I know, that's very true.
My wife thinks about people a lot more than I do. I think about institutions more than she does.
Exactly, like the royals, like the royals. But there's a lot in here that I didn't know, and I thought I knew, and I didn't, especially, as you say, about the very start of it all, which was all very strange. You know, this kind of, before the Dark Ages.
Well, what I sort of discovered researching the book is that really our idea that kings and queens are a natural thing that have always been is entirely false. It was just invented.
Yeah.
There were people who, the Anglo-Saxons came over, they pushed away the people who were here already, they took over the country, but they were just random people farming, having a bit of a fight. And that very gradually, by the same means, I suppose, by which drug dealers divide up LA, it was organised into sort of small kingdoms. But it was only done by bullying, really, and threats.
That's true.
And then gradually that turned into the august institution we enjoy today.
Well, I'm glad that you sort of take the glamour out of it. It's a really funny book, as you would expect. It's a really funny book, of course it is. Now, look, are you going to do more Upstart Crow? Because you know I love that.
Oh, well, I would love to do more of it.
You've got to.
At the moment, we lack a broadcast partner.
Is it?
Think. Yeah, I think at the moment no one's saying they'll pay to make it so we could make some more. I'm not pointing the finger at the BBC. There are other broadcasters.
There are other broadcasters available if anyone's listening.
They could all get in touch.
It's so funny and so good. Now, look, is your wee girl interested in what you do, what both of you do? Because, you know, is she... You know how kids, that's just their reality. They just say, oh, there's Dad being silly. Like, she'll be watching this thinking, what's going on with my dad? Is he now king?
Well, yeah, well, I hope she thinks that.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
But, no, I do a voice in Peppa Pig, a police officer Panda.
I didn't want to bring it up because it's just like it's just incredibly amazing and awesome.
Well, I wanted to impress her with that. And I showed that to her when she was 3 or something. And she just didn't understand that it was unusual. Because she was so used to the sound of my voice, she thought, oh, it's him again. Oh,
it's just him again. But how cool is that, Peppa Pig? I mean, come on. Of all the things that you've done, that has to be the absolute apex.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, everything else really is.
Yeah, no, that's full on A-list.
It is full on A-list. Yeah. David, thank you for coming. You really suit that. Well, I can see you.
I feel comfortable in it.
Do you?
I'm not... by the way, this is not an attempt to usurp.
No.
If the King's worried,
you better.
It's all right. It's just, you know, just a fond reference.
It costs a fiver. It's fine. Yeah. David's book, Unruly, A History of England's Kings and Queens, it's out right now. As you would expect, it's a cracking read. You will learn loads and you will laugh as well, and that doesn't often happen.